students, are you still struggling to write your research papers and dissertations? Are you living in Canada, UK, Australia and struggling to write your thesis, dissertations to submit to your universities? So this video will be answer to all your queries. Hi, today I'll be your mentor and will be explaining you how to do the dissertation in a manner that will be able to score good marks for you all and you'll be able to succeed your degree. So today the topic on the payment obligation. So this will be an example video wherein I'll be taking one thesis and this can be taken by you as a benchmark for doing all of your other theses and dissertations. I'll be step by step explaining all the contents and all the important sections that are included in the thesis and dissertation with adequate word count that is to be included in the dissertation so that you can score merit marks in your thesis. This thesis is about HECP scheme which is introduced by the Australian government to provide financial support to the students who are not able to cover their cost of the students' cost for their courses. So there are repayment obligations attached to this scheme. So this is the little crux about the topic to you. So when I hear about these topics, there are some keywords that are very important. First, it's HECP help scheme, which is the main keyword. You need to know every in and about of this scheme in order to write this dissertation. You have to write the introduction in a manner that if a person does not knows about anything about the scheme, will be able to get it a good idea about the scheme. So you need to be very well versed with the topic first yourself so that you'll be able to write everything nicely in your dissertation. So then there is scheme participants. So the topic stresses upon the participants in that scheme from the Australian government as a help to continue their courses with financial repayment obligations. So repayment obligations are attached to that scheme. So you also need to find out that what are the repayment obligations, whom are the people who can actually take this scheme, who can enroll in with this scheme, and what is the interest rate, because interest rate is attached to every debt that you take. So you need to be very well versed with the topic first. In this case, for this topic, in other topics you need to be well versed with every keyword that is included in the topic given by your university. Okay. So field of research for this topic is business risk. Okay. So you need to find out, in order to address this question, you need to find out what is the exact research question that you will be targeting upon in this research. The research question is formed from the research topic, that what are the behaviors and perceptions of HEC help scheme participants regarding financial repayment obligation. We receive the money. So maybe students who are actually in Australia who have not taken up this scheme, they must be searching for high payment jobs in order to pay their fees. But if they get it all by themselves from the government, does their perceptions and behavior change with the receiving of the amount from the government? So we need to find out dissertation. So this will be a research question, that what are the perceptions and behaviors of the scheme participants with the repayment obligations. क्या असर पड़ता है? Did they stop finding jobs that can help those debt or to claim their course fees at their universities? क्या negative impact होता है या positive होता है? They continue searching for jobs and they are very obliged to the government for the debt, and they are preparing to how to repay that debt. So that is a research question. You need to co-align the topic with your research question. So this is the research question, and it is business related. Next thing that is very important in order to address a thesis properly and effectively is decide the research method. That what will be the research method, and how will you address that research question. So for example, this is a perceptions and behavioral based question. In order, I want to test or inquire about somebody's perception and behavior, the best I can do is to talk to them, because the perception and behaviors can change with time. So I cannot take something that is already been published on the internet, because that changes over time, and that can be, and a human nature is like that, it can change in a second. So in that case, interviews will be, or surveys will be the best option. Interview will be, so though both are qualitative methods, because it includes theory based answers and questions. So I'll be asking a question and they'll be answering me a question in their own words. So I'll be able to get a gist about कि वो क्या सोचते हैं scheme के बारे में, and is it affecting them positively or negatively. So in this particular dissertation, qualitative research method will be appropriate. So I'll be designing either interview questions or survey questions. Survey questions can be both qualitative and quantitative, because if yes and no objective type questions are added, I can simply draw group pie charts, bar graphs out of it. So that is qualitative analysis. And if it is an interview question, it has to be only qualitative, because they'll be giving me answers in their own words and I need to get a gist of it and drive to a conclusion of it. So this is for this dissertation. However, if the dissertation is based upon numbers, statistics, then I need to get secondary data coherent to that topic from reliable sources, because it's very important that the data that you are fetching from the internet needs to be very, very reliable. Only then you'll be able to draw a reliable conclusion for the reader and fetch marks for sure. I have to address a research question that is quantitative. For example, what is the impact of the recent changes in the budget 2024 on the consumption pattern or employment statistics of Indian economy, Australian economy, any economy? When you read the research question and it includes quantitative keywords, so you have to acquire quantitative information about it, and that is secondary data, and that needs to be acquired, fetched from reliable sources. So that is about the research method. It can be qualitative, it can be quantitative, and it can be mixed of both. I left that point. So what is a mixed method? Mixed method is wherein I want to use both the methods in order to draw to a conclusion. For example, in terms of income, consumption and the budget changes, I also fetch secondary data from government reliable sources, and also interview people so that I can ask them, said what are their viewpoints on the recent changes in the budget, and how are they planning to cope up with the changes, and how are they planning to consume in the recent times. Is the changes have made them a little easier for them to consume, or they will want to save more because of the increase in the prices of goods and products, or the change has led to a little exemption in the tax payment and they are now levied with a little more money and they can enjoy their lives. So all of this are behaviors and perceptions about the budget, same as our question in the dissertation. So for that, interview can also be taken up. So sometimes it is the choice of the student, because the choice of method does not only necessarily depends upon the choice of the student, but also the available time frame. Sometimes the student does not have that much time that he can go to people and interview them, and that requires time, effort and money both, and all of the three. Because so interview can only be done if the student has that required resources like time and money and efforts. The person needs to have time for taking interviews, because secondary data is readily available on the internet. However, the primary data is the term which is used for interviews and surveys. So primary data is not readily available. It is fetched and it is acquired by the researcher themselves. So it is the choice of the student and the time frame in which the student has to submit the dissertation to the university that will decide that what kind of research method will be taken up in the research. So for this research, interviews will be the best option, because I need to know that what does a student says, that are they looking for jobs, or because they have repayment obligations, or does it have negatively impacted them, and now they have become reliant, and they are just relying on the government that they will pay their student fees, and later it will be a negative thing, because the government will not get their payments back. Okay, so till now we have discussed about the introduction, in which telling the gist about the research topic to the reader, which is very important, because the reader might not be very well versed with the scheme in this and other keywords in your topic. So introduction should give a clear gist of the topic and the keywords included in it to the reader or the viewer. Then the research question, which is linked to the topic of the dissertation in a question form. Then the research methods, which will be based upon the results that you want to obtain, and also on the type of the research question, that whether it requires secondary data to fulfill its objective, or it requires to conduct surveys and interview to identify the behaviors and perceptions of the citizens of the country about the new scheme launched, or the changes in the budget, and after that, after you made this decision that what all you are doing in the research methods, you will be actually implementing it. You will be fetching data from the reliable sources. You will be writing the interview questions. It is very important to include those questions that will be able to achieve the objective of the research. So it's very important to what are you actually asking to the participants in the survey or the interview. It's very important, because if the question will not be coherent with the research question of your dissertation, you will not be able to reach to a reliable conclusion, or the conclusion will not answer the research question of the dissertation. So you will not be able to fetch marks. So that is very important. Okay. After that, after you have applied, after you have obtained the data, you will run it. So that is data analysis, research data analysis. Data analysis parts comes after research methods. That analysis will actually give you results. So analysis, if it is secondary data, so the analysis will be either done with any software. In this case, so we have discussed that the research method appropriate for this research will be qualitative analysis, wherein we'll be taking interviews of 30 participants maybe, because that will be able to fetch a lot of information, and you'll be able to get a lot of data for processing it and achieving a reliable conclusion. However, in order to make your dissertation appealing, and you have it should seem like that you have done a lot of efforts to your professor. For example, you have a dissertation like this only, in which there is a question of behavioral change. So in that case, you can search on Google behavioral change models. Trans-theoretical or stages of change model is the most prevalent one that is appearing on the Google right now. So that is the model that includes 5 stages. Includes the transition before achieving complete change, the pre-completion, the contemplation, and the preparing for action, and the maintenance of that change. So all of these are the stages when a change is about to happen in your life, or there's a change in the process of any task. So models like these can be the base, the theoretical base of a dissertation that includes primary data, in which you have theoretical data with you, and you have to process it and arrive to a reliable conclusion. So such kind of model can be used in your thesis. For secondary data analysis, you need to have knowledge of softwares like Excel, SPSS, R, Python, because all these softwares have add-in features of mathematical models that are run in just seconds, and that can derive conclusions for you. Learn how to read those results, and the conclusions will be ready for you. So I'll be representing one such example with you, that how we can understand the relationship between income and consumption through Excel with the regression model analysis. So income is somewhere a independent factor, because consumption is dependent on how much income you have. So it is a general phenomenon that if the income increases, consumption will increase. However, some people tend to consume less and save more with the increase in income, because they want to save for their future. So let's learn this with the help of regression model on Excel. For the application of such softwares, either you need to have the knowledge yourself, or you can take help from mentors like us to apply, to use these softwares and derive conclusions from secondary data. On the screen, I have taken example of two variables, income and consumption. Income will be independent, consumption will be dependent. The data I have taken is made by me. It's not taken from any reliable source, but you need to take it from reliable source for thesis. I'm just here making you learn how to conduct regression analysis. So you need to go to data on the first row. From there, if you don't have if you go to data, there will be a data analysis tab. If you don't have it, you need to add in feature on your Excel. How will you do that? You will go to the to the home, and then there will be an options there. Then you have to go to add-ins, because you need to add in the data analysis tab, add-ins, and then you need to select analysis tool pack from here, then go and then press go. Select analysis tool pack. Here it's already been ticked because I have the tab of data analysis on my Excel. So okay, with this you will be able to conduct regression analysis on your Excel. So now you'll go to data analysis. Here I will select, there are many options of doing analysis on secondary data. I'll be selecting regression because that's the most appropriate for learning the relationship between these two variables. So I went to regression, I pressed OK. Then there are two columns here. First is the Y range. So Y is the independent variable. So my Y is income. So what I'll be doing, I'll be pressing on it, then I'll be selecting all the data of income. When it comes to X, I'll be selecting all the data of consumption. I'll be selecting labels that includes my income and consumption, because that will be represented on my table or the result table. Then I'll be selecting an output range where I want the result to be. Okay, pressing it here, selecting a column for it. Is there anything else that I want? No. So I press OK. So this is my summary output of it. So this intercept is very important. This R square is very important. I'll be explaining very briefly explaining you the concept of R square. R square, if it is equals to 1, that means there is a perfect positive relationship between the two variables. Here it is 0.84, which is very close to 1. Iska kya matlab hai? There is a very significant positive relationship between the variables. The change in the consumption is very much derived from the change in income. So consumption is very much related to income. Because there are many other factors that can impact the consumption of an individual, the result says about 80%, 84% of change in consumption is caused by the change in income. So this is a result of secondary data, that is of income and consumption I derived a result from it. Okay. So this is one such example. From this, you would have completed your data analysis part. Such tables increase the chances that you will be able to get more marks in your dissertation. Professor likes such things because you're deriving practical practical answers to your research question. After this, you will be writing the discussion part, wherein you will be comparing the results obtained by your research with the already obtained results from the research papers that have already been published on the research sites, that this is the relationship between income and consumption. You will be contrasting and writing your discussion that the results, the already research papers say this, whereas the result derived from my research analysis is different. So this is the discussion section. Based on your discussion, you will be concluding. It is very important that the conclusion section will have to answer the research question from the starting. For example, in our research that I was discussing initially, HECS scheme, I was intended to study the behaviors and perceptions of the participants of those schemes. So by the end of the dissertation, my conclusion should be very much focused on those behaviors and perceptions. 20% of, and that if that is in terms of statistics, that will be the best thing. That 20% of the participants are still finding for good jobs to repay their repayment obligations, whereas 80% are not that much interested. They have taken the debt and now they are enjoying because they don't have to pay their fees anymore. So on something like this, but they need to answer the research question very nicely. And if that is in statistics forms, that is fine. That is very nice. Okay, after conclusion, there's recommendation section, wherein you will be addressing the bodies that are very much related to the topic. For example, in HECS scheme, the students is one party that is linked. The Australian government, who is actually providing this scheme to the students for encouraging them to come to their economy and take up those courses, are the second that is very much related to the topic. So maybe third can be the professors or the families of those students. So you need to find the linked bodies to that question, and then you need to recommend those. These are the changes that the Australian government should make so that the students are encouraged and they know that they need to repay their obligation. They need to be reminded again and again that they need to repay, so they get encouraged to indulge themselves in high paying jobs and not just rely on the support of the government for starting there. Students should also be knowing that if they need continuous support from the government, they need to repay back their debts. So something like this. The recommendation sections should address the bodies that are linked to the topic, and they need to give proper recommendations. In the last, there will be the references part. So whenever you are writing maybe the literature review section, maybe the introduction section, you will be adding all the sources from wherein are you taking the information from. So for that, you will be writing at first and references are at end, but you need to keep listing down the DOIs from where you are taking the information, and then at last you will be adding the references list along with the in-text citations. Also, it is very important to abide by the word count limit of the thesis. So, introduction is 10%. After that, there is literature review, which is 30%. Literature review is all the present literature related to the topic. So I missed that part in the beginning, but that is also very, very important, but because that will actually give a gist to you what other scholars say about the paper. So literature review is 30% and is a very, very important section. After that, there is the research method section, wherein you will be telling what you are actually doing to obtain the conclusion to the research question. That is also 30% to 10%, 30%, 30%, and then 20% for the discussion, wherein you will be comparing your results with the present studies on HECS scheme, and by the end you will be recommending. That is also 10%. Conclusion, recommendations both acquire 10%. The last is the references list, which will actually state that you have acquired your data from reliable sources. So that's it for this topic. explanation of the entire video. You can use it as an example for any thesis that you are doing, and you can further contact us for any expert guidance or mentorship for doing your dissertations and thesis. Thank you so much.